Workaholic. There's some professions that are just prone and attract people that not only have a high drive and high ambition and type A personality, but that they like to work, they've been driven to work, they've been taught to work, and that's what they like to do. That's what they know how to do, right? My dad lost his dad at the age of 9, and his mom put him to work right away selling calendars to the neighborhood and had a post-it note saying, his dad died and there will be no Christmas unless we sell this many calendars, right? And so he started working the day after his dad died, and he has worked ever since. He did not play. He had to work from a young age to put food on the table. Now, a lot of us don't have that kind of upbringing, and we're still become workaholics. So my dad will admit he goes on vacation. He does not know what to do. He brings big books to read, and they're not fiction. They're like textbooks of some sort. He can't stop. And when he's on vacation, he's got, he gets up early and he uses the whole day and he's going, going, going. Now, this was modeled for me growing up. He worked a lot. I don't feel like I saw him a lot. And, my dad thought that's what dads do. They work to provide for the family. And bless his heart, he provided. And he was a wonderful provider. And I'm so grateful for that. And he also modeled for us to go, to move, to do. A human doing, not a human being, right? And so me and my siblings are workers. We are doers, and I know that the DNA also has something to do with it. So it's that the type A personality, it's inside of us. And so when I think about workaholics and how physicians and the medical field attracts that kind of person, especially if you work in the hospital, it's just naturally attracts type A, driven, ambitious people to that kind of facility, because it is nonstop. There's a lot of energy at the hospital. It's nonstop. It's open 24/7, and you never know what's going to happen. So, and especially when you're saving lives, human beings are all so different, and each case is unique. So we're constantly problem solving, critical thinking, on the spot, and the pressure to be efficient, effective, and right, and perfect even. There's a lot motivating that kind of person. And we need those kind of people to be good at what they do. Thank heavens we have them, right? So this is for the person who is prone to being a workaholic. This is the person, whether you're a doctor, you work at the hospital, you're in the medical profession, it definitely creates or exasperates the tendency to overwork, because if it's open 24/7, that means you can stay. But the issue of overworking is found in many professions, and it's not exclusive to medicine. But of course, I want to talk about those specifics to physicians, because working in the hospital myself, we're prone to burnout because we're being asked to do something that really isn't sustainable. But if you're a workaholic, you don't care about the work. You actually like the work. It's just that things start compiling up when you overwork. And then we wonder, why am I falling apart? Why did I gain weight? Why is my cholesterol high? Why am I stressed? Why are my relationships failing? Why don't I have any money? We're like, we don't understand. So I want to offer you a solution, right? Because I am a coach. This is what I do. I like to coach people in their lives so that they feel they can be as productive as they want, but they also have a quality of life that is worth living for, that they love, that they enjoy. And a lot of us, we actually don't know how to not work. Working is part of our identity. And I learned this because I had to take medical leave several times in my 21-year employment at community hospital. So my first medical leave was for a foot surgery. And I was in bed, my foot up, I was alone with my thoughts. And that could be a deadly place when you're used to go, 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 move, 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 move. So how do we bring a balance so that we enjoy our life and that we're able to create the relationships and the money and the health that a great life would have, including work? Like, there's nothing wrong with work. I had a client recently say, I don't know how to not work. And she was talking about these anxiety attacks that she would get when she stopped working. She's comfortable working. She likes to work. She knows work. And yet, when she stops, she has these anxiety attacks. And it's because work is the solution. It's the symptom that is our default, our go-to, so that we don't have to think about the rest of our life. So, an alcoholic, when we talk about that, the end of the word, workaholic, alcoholic, it's talking about an addiction. It's talking about something that we do over and over and over, and when it's taken from us, we are lost. We have withdrawal. We don't know who we are, and we don't know what to do with ourselves. And the need for it is so important. And the addiction to work, I got the withdrawals when I was on that medical leave. I did not know who I was without working hard. It was painful. And this client is not alone, because so many people use work as a way to numb, as a way to hide, as a way to isolate, as a way to ignore and procrastinate and avoid. So, what can we do? Well, I love the idea of getting a coach, because a coach helps you navigate through the things that are keeping you stuck. And there could be events and circumstances and programming and false beliefs that have been programmed in your brain and need to be rewired. And that takes one-on-one. That is individual. And so seeing a therapist or a coach is going to help you really uncover those things that may need to be healed. And a professional can help with those kind of things. Sometimes we have PTSD. We need a solution. We need a healing. We need forgiveness. We need a tool, an awareness. And a lot of times that takes somebody outside of us to show us the way. And so that's why I like having a mentor, a a therapist, a coach, somebody you can trust who is professional, who has had experience with helping people walk through that kind of pain, childhood pain, things that we've learned a long time ago that are so hardwired in our brain. So this is a complex issue. So what we want to do is give you some suggestions about how to work less, how to have a balance, how to stop working. My clients tell me they don't know how to not work. Okay. The first thing that we can do is set boundaries. We can set a goal around how many hours would you like to work? So part of the program that we made for this individual client was, okay, my ideal job hours would be 50 hours a week. So it's important to set a goal for 50 hours a week and then be aware of what your current goal is. So her current goal was somewhere around 70 hours after we tracked it. So at first she just knew she was working a lot. But she didn't even know exactly how much. So when you journaling, tracking is a way to bring awareness to where you are, because you have to know where you are in order to make a sustainable, healthy goal. So you need to know where you want to go, where you want to be, who you want to be, what you want to be is the goal. And then the other part is acknowledging where you're at right now and how far is the gap? Is it this far? Is it this far? And directing our brain, giving our brain GPS directions to where we want to go from where we are. I mean, that's what we do with our phones. We use our phones for GPS. It tracks where I am, and then it tells me where I want to go. So that's the same thing we're doing. We're setting up a goal of how many hours do I want to work? How many hours am I currently working? If I don't know that, then I need to gather that information so that I can make an honest plan about where I am and where I want to go. So that's super important. That means there's going to be boundaries. So a lot of times what happens is we set a goal, and you know what? We might be so excited and gung-ho that the first week we're going to make 50 hours work. But then life happens, right? And I go to my default. My default is over 70 hours, right? And maybe I've even forgotten my why. Like, why am I only want to work 50 hours? And someone who doesn't know how to not work doesn't know what they're going to do when they don't not work. So that's another thing that comes up that's so important. So you're setting a boundary about how much you want to work, but a motivating why puts it in place. It's scheduling you what you're going to do with that extra time. So one of the things we look at is when we see what your life looks like and how many hours. Everybody has the same amount of hours in one day. And we're creating the way you want to use those hours. So if you want to work less, you need a reason why you want to work less. Do you want to spend more time with your family? Do you want to start a hobby? What does that look like? You have to fill your cup. And we need things to fill our time. Otherwise, our brain just gets depressed. You know, for someone that doesn't know how to not work, and you say, just don't work, they don't know what to do. And if they watch TV and they're used to hustling and bustling, that's going to make them depressed because their mind needs something to focus on. Their mind needs directions. So we have to put those in place. Otherwise, it doesn't, we're not building a meaningful life. And that's the main goal. We're building a life that you love, that you are excited to wake up in the morning. Engage in relaxation techniques. So when I worked up at the hospital, it was like, I needed caffeine. I needed, I had to get geared up, because I'm going to be running all day, and it's like in my mind, I know what's ahead of me when I walk through those hospital doors. And it's like, I am going to be moving. I am going to be standing. I have to psych myself up. So most people that are prone to working in a hospital or have that type A mentality, their default is go. So it's so much harder for me to slow down and take deep breaths. But I assure you, it is a skill. And just like any skill, you can learn about it, you can practice it, and you can master it. Just like the Olympics. Those Olympians learned a skill and they practiced. And think about the practice that an Olympian puts in. They put so much practice into it, they master it. So it's up to you. Like, would you want to master a skill like relaxation? If you're a type A driven, ambitious personality, that's not going to be top on your list. But if you have a goal to work less and you are looking how to not work and what that looks like, this is a skill that you can practice, that you can develop, that you could try on. When I am trying on a new habit or behavior, I think of it like a coat. Like I'm just gonna put this jacket on and I'm just gonna see how it fits, and I'm gonna do different things with the jacket on, like I'm gonna take a walk, I'm gonna sit at my office, I'm gonna wear it around, I'm gonna wear it while I'm cooking, I'm gonna see how it feels when I'm driving in the car. It's like I have to keep it on long enough to see if I actually like it. So I encourage you that the skill of relaxation techniques like deep breathing, yoga, meditation, we need that skill so that when we want to use it, it's there. Because if you've never done it and you've never practiced it, and then you're like my client getting anxiety attacks, you don't have what it takes to calm yourself down. And this is a way to practice and engage in relaxation techniques so that you have a foundation and you have something to fall back on. And in that practice of meditation and slowing down and getting comfortable slowing down. See, it doesn't feel comfortable because you're used to a different mode. You're used to speeding up. So we are practicing slowing down. And slowing down is uncomfortable. When I first left the hospital, I was so uncomfortable. I couldn't handle it. It was like I was depressed. I was emotional. I was like what is this? So we have to practice when we're doing something different or there's a change, our subconscious kind of freaks out. It doesn't like it. It's uncomfortable. And any kind of growth is going to be that way. But that's why we want to pick sustainable goals about it. So maybe you start out with 60 seconds on a lunch break. Maybe you take a lunch break. Small baby step goals that are sustainable, that are easy, that are duplicatable, that are simple, and tracking your progress on it and implementing it with something that you're already doing. So we're just looking for progress in a different direction that's not too much and not too little, but a growing, sustainable progress is gonna feel a little uncomfortable, but not super uncomfortable, so uncomfortable that you can't stand it and you're gonna just revert back. So we want to pick small baby step implementations towards relaxation, relaxation techniques for progress. Because if we don't know how to relax, we need to learn how to relax. So if you don't know how to not work, this is a really good skill. The skill of relaxation techniques. And it's just going to take one little baby goal to start. It's a beginning. It's a starting place. And it will build. It will build, and you will see how relaxation techniques are going to help. So another thing that helps someone who likes to work a lot not work is a routine. I love teaching clients to have an AM routine and a PM routine because it gives your mind the structure that it needs to, upon awakening and retire at night, we have these bookends. We start our day and end our day. This is going to help the way your day starts, and it's going to help your sleep at night. Your brain needs openings and closings. So I know type A personalities wouldn't have any trouble sleeping. No insomnia, nothing like that, right? Because you can just shut your brain off like that when you want to. That's what I thought. So insomnia and irregular sleeping patterns, I know as physicians working in the medical field and having employment where it's open 24/7, that could be pretty tough. And it is doable. Upon awakening and when I retire at night. And it's a routine. It's building that pattern, that neuroplasticity in our brain. The repetition builds new ways of behavior and results, but it has to be repeated. That's why we need a routine. And it could be a very small routine. It's just we have to have one. Our brain loves structure. It loves it. And it needs the repetition to make it automatic. So, taking breaks. This one is horrible for medical professionals because people are dying. I can't take a break. I can't go to the bathroom. Oh my gosh. I have such a funny story about this because when I first started working at the hospital, um, I got my new insurance, so I was so excited I could see a doctor whenever I wanted, and I was exercising and taking care of myself, and I remember um, reading this article about um, you know when you exercise and if you tinkle a little, that you could do these exercises and that would help. And so I started doing these Kegel exercises thinking that that would help me when I was jumping up and down, not tinkle, right? So it wasn't working. So I went to a specialist, and the first thing she asked me was, how many times do you go to the bathroom? I had to think about it. She's like, how often do you urinate? Once. She's like, how long is your work shift? I'm like, I don't know, 10 hours. And she's like, how much water do you drink? So between those two things, that's all that was wrong with me. I didn't drink enough and I didn't pee enough. So if you go the whole day without taking a break because you're busy, and you know what I told her? I said, I don't have time to go to the bathroom. I don't have time to drink water. I'm saving lives. Don't you know what I do? Didn't I just say, like, I'm saving lives. I can't go to the bathroom. I get it. But taking breaks is important. And she told me, if you drink water and go to the bathroom, you won't have this problem anymore. And she was right. She was right. And of course, I just started like going to the bathroom before I left work, and that pretty much was good. But the lesson I learned was I was so focused on my patients, I didn't think I had time to go to the bathroom, and I didn't. And it was causing a very embarrassing issue, and I did not know what was going on with me. I really didn't. I was clueless. And I felt stupid that all it was is I need to go to the bathroom more. And once would help. Um, and drinking water. So now I drink water so I will go to the bathroom. And that could be a self-care item right there that is also going to build that routine and consistency of taking care of you. You have to take care of you. You cannot give what you don't have. So, how can I really save somebody's life if I am not hydrated and going to the bathroom and taking, even just resetting in the bathroom? That is my time to take a breath in, to take a moment for myself, to check in with me. What's going on? I didn't realize that I wasn't doing that. And this is such a common thing in the medical field that we don't think we have time to take a break. We don't think that it matters if we take a break. And it does matter. It really does. And again, I believe everything is a skill. So you literally, this is a skill that you can learn. You might need to learn from someone else on how do you take a break? How do you go to the bathroom 4 times a day at work? That sounds impossible, especially when I'm running late and people are waiting on me. But you know what? I just started practicing with 1 time during my work shift, 2 times during my work. I just started small and started working it up. I always started with 1 cup of water, So taking breaks is another way to practice this skill of not working. Okay, the next one is physical activity. Yeah, we all need to integrate our brain. Our brain works better if we take regular walks, if we go up the stairs. This could be whatever facility you're working at. Instead of taking the elevator, take the stairs. Swing your arms as much as you can going up and down those stairs. That integrates the brain. It's cross crawl. Our brain needs walks. So walking to the bathroom that's the farthest one away is going to be the most helpful. It's going to give you a break. It's going to get you walking. It's going to get you to go to the bathroom. It's going to get you to drink water. These are all necessities. I am not trying to insult your intelligence. This is the start of developing an awareness and a skill of not working. When you do that, your work will actually be more efficient and more productive, and your life will be better. That's the only reason why we don't want to not work. We want to enjoy the not working time. I want my clients to enjoy when they're not working, not be stressing about when they need to go back to work. Okay. Engage in hobbies. So you want to find hobbies that you enjoy outside of work. Now, you may have never thought about this because you're good at work and we like to do things we're good at. So we do work. We have to find other ways to grow and learn and do. Just switching up what we always do this also encourages brain health. And when you have good brain health, you're able to save more lives. So we want to take care of our brain, and who knows, excuse me, I got a bunch of stick. It's okay. It's okay. You might even like these hobbies. I didn't know that I even liked wearing makeup. And I started having fun as a hobby to find bold colors and started bringing me joy. It doesn't have to be physical. It could be artistic. It could be writing. It could be learning about something like birding, like collections. Maybe it's something outside of work that intrigues you, that you could spend time learning about, practicing, mastering. Like that's, the more you know about something, the more you like it. That's what's happened for me. And that's what's happened for so many clients, because if you kind of like cooking and then you look into a cool recipe and you do it and you like it and other people like it, and it's like, wow. The community college has little hobby classes, interesting things to learn, interesting things to do, interesting people to meet. So I encourage you to look for something that you could develop outside of your current career and job. And learning about other things enhances our current skills with our job. Okay, Oh, here's one. Limit stimulants and alcohol. Ooh. How does a type A person come down off of a type A job? Well, I used alcohol for for a whole decade, my first decade of working at a hospital, until I realized that that wasn't really working. It was making things worse for me and my relationships. So I just tried it on, you know. I just did my thing, like I'm just gonna try this on like a coat, and I'm gonna wear it for a while and see how, if my life is any better if I don't use alcohol. And I gave myself a whole year before quitting to not quit anymore. If that makes any sense. I wanted to wear the jacket long enough so I could really, I needed to see the benefits of not drinking, because it would be easy to go back to drinking. So I'm happy to report that life is a lot better without alcohol. We use stimulants, we use caffeine, we use prescription drugs. We know what we're doing, but some of those things to speed us up or slow us down are hindering us from actually enjoying some really wonderful things about life. And if you have to drink because of your job, or you have to use stimulants because of your job, or you have to take sleeping medication because you can't sleep because of your job, these are just, I'm just presenting that there is another way. There is a solution if you want one. If it's working, then forget I even mentioned this. But there is a solution. And if it feels like there's no way that I could stop using caffeine or a prescription or alcohol or recreationally using marijuana, I live in California, so that's a big one. Just know that there is a way out, and that's one of the specialties I do have, and I have my own experience with it, so I get it. I understand. Support groups. That's I think organizations, right? Like a book club, a church, tennis club, a racquetball club, different parts of the community, I think are super helpful. As far as like sharing your feelings, I think, or sharing stories, I really hope that there is more programs that can support physicians or high pressure jobs. I believe I found Physicians Anonymous as a support group, which I thought was cool because it keeps your anonymity, and it's a safe place where you're sharing with common physicians and doctors. And of course, coaching one-on-one, coaching in a group with other physicians. There are people that are going through the same thing as you. You're not alone, and I think that that's probably the most important thing to know. You know, being a workaholic, you are not alone. There's other people just like you. There are no new problems. So just trust me that there is the right fit for you, and there is the right choice for you, and you do have choices. There's so many options and opportunities out there. Just have hope that the right resource is going to come to you. So, mindfulness and grounding techniques. So that's a little different than the relaxation techniques. I love teaching mindfulness in my coaching program. I use visualizations. I use energy. And, some people think it's woo-woo, and I would too, except it actually works. I use things like EFT, emotion freedom technique, which is very grounding. And the statistics and reports, case studies show that it neutralizes the central nervous system, calms the central nervous system, releases those natural hormones to calm us and soothe us. So I love sharing those as well. So I hope that you can try some of these on. Private message me. Let's talk about how you can not work and enjoy life and create a life that you actually love.